Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can you give me co-host? So my sister wants to sing a small bhajan, so we'll hear that first.
Ramachandraya Janakara Jaja Manoharaya Mamaka Vishnaraya Maita Mangalam Kushale Chaya Manda Hasadasa Poshanaya Vasavadi Vinita Satvaraya Mangalam Charu Kunkumopeeta Jannanari Chechitaya Harakataka Shopita Bhuri Mangalam Lalita Ratna Kundalaya Tulasivana Malikaya Jaladalisha Dehaya Charu Mangalam Devaki Suputraya Devade Otamaya Bhavaja Guruvaraya Sarvamangalam Pundarikakshaya Punajandrananaya Antajata Vahanaya Atulamangalam Vimalrupaya Vipta Vedanta Vedaya Sumukha Chitta Kamitaya Subhramangalam Ramadasa Rudravataya Ravarasani Vasaya Swami Bardha Girivaraya Sarvamangalam Swami Bardha Girivaraya Sarvamangalam Swami Bardha Girivaraya Sarvamangalam.
Hari Hari, Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very nice, Nitya. Great. Good job, good job. ఇంకేమైనా వచ్చా?
రావు.
ఓకే, రేపు నేర్చుకొని చెప్పు.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
ఓకే మాతాజీ.
Hari bol Nitya Mataji. Thank you. Good.
Keep it up. Prabhuji.
God bless. God bless you. Thank you, Mataji, once again.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Wonderful, Nitya.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very good, very good, very good. చాలా బాగా పాడావు. చాలా బాగా పాడావు.
Wonderful.
God bless you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Wonderful, Nitya. God bless you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's start, Anantha.
Yes.
Anantha, unmute yourself.
Yes, Prabhu. Can you see it, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji's, Mataji's, Dandot Pranam. First of all, thank you to Balgovind Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity. And today's session will be on the second part of Ramayana. And the title for this session is Boons Become Curses. And second is, if I speak any mistakes in between, please forgive me. So now let us start with the prayers. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So we'll start from so today's session will start from Dashrath Maharaj of him thinking he wants to step aside and coronate Lord Rama as the new Prince Regent. So Dashrath Maharaj, we already know that he has a big council of members. So he went to them and he was consulting with them on the next king. He wanted to, he was expressing his feelings of wanting to step aside and coronate his eldest son, which is Lord Rama, as the new king of Ayodhya and the new king of the whole world, because Dashrath Maharaj was the emperor, so the emperor rules the whole world. So when he, as soon as he entered the council, everyone shouted, "Hail Dashratha! Long live Dashratha!" So the king's actual name was not Dashratha, but one specific pastime caused him to get such a name. So basically, Dashratha means one's chariot, which could go in 10 directions. So when the demigods they were fighting against demons, there was a very powerful demon, and his name was Sambarasura. So at that time, the demigods they couldn't defeat this demon, so they asked help from King Nemi. At that time, Dashrath Maharaj's name was King Nemi. So Nemi Maharaj he helped the demigods, and both of them were equal. Basically, Nemi and Sambarasura they couldn't get a cutting edge over each other, and the battle was pretty much at the same level. So at that time the chariot at that time the chariot was being run by KK, who was one of the wife of Nemi. So KK, she was the chariot driver. Even though she was a beautiful queen and she was not fit to be a charioteer, she even went to the extent of be or of controlling the chariot for Dashrath Maharaj. I mean Nemi Maharaj at that time. So at this time, excuse me. So at this time, Sambrasura, he took an illusion, because demons, they have different techniques and powers. So he actually took an illusion here, and he used his illusionary potency so that he could create 10 Sambarasuras. So there were 10 reflections of Sambarasura, and each of them was fighting. So while Nemi was fighting in one direction, another 3 Sambarasuras would go behind and shoot arrows at his back. So Nemi Maharaj, he was fixed here, and he had to fight all these Sambarasuras at once. So at that time, his chariot kept on going in rounds. So it was going in ultimate unlimited loop, and it was going in a huge circle, and it was fighting all the Nemi Maharaj was fighting all the 10 Sambarasuras at once. So at that time, the chariot wheel happened to come loose. So the screw, right? Screw holding the chariot wheel. So that actually had come loose. So when this happened, KK, who was the chariot driver at that time, she put her fragile finger in place of that screw. And so that's how the chariot was still upright. So Nemi Maharaj seeing this, seeing his beautiful wife even though she was so fragile, she put her finger and was bearing the pain for Nemi Maharaj. So at that time, Nemi Maharaj decided that he was going to defeat Sambrasura then and there, because he was already angry that his wife had to do such a thing in order to defeat. So at that time, later on the battle, Nemi Maharaj actually went unconscious, and Kaikeyi had tended to the wounds of Nemi. And as soon as Nemi Maharaj he woke up, he granted Kaikeyi. He was thankful to Kaikeyi first of all, and then he granted Kaikeyi two boons. And these two boons, we know what will happen to them later on in their life. So after this, Shambarasura was defeated, and the demigods actually gave a new name to Nemi. And they were shouting, Dashratha, hail Dashratha, long live Dashratha. So Dashratha means one's chariot which could go in 10 directions. So even now, even after thousands and hundreds of years, the council members, they were still calling him Dashratha, Dashratha, Dashratha. So he asked for the Dashrath actually he asked for the opinion of his council members, and his council members he actually told they actually most of them told actually all of them told that they wanted to see Lord Rama, Ramachandra Sri Ramachandra as the Prince Regent of Ayodhya. So then Dashrath Maharaj, he was in a fix here because he thought he was not incompetent, and that's why they were wanting him to step aside from the throne. So then so one of the council members, they clarified his doubt and saying the only disqualification that you have of being a king is having Lord Rama as your son. So at this time, the insecurity of a king had vanished, and it became the pride of a father. So Dashrath Maharaj, he was very proud here to have all the council members speaking so much, speaking of the greatness of Lord Rama. So at this time, he conveyed this to the council members, and he decided that this was what was going to happen. And at this same time, sent he actually sent Bharat Maharaj to Kekeya, which was King Ashwapati's kingdom. And King Ashwapati was Bharat Maharaj's grandfather and Kekeya's father. So at that time, Dashrath Maharaj told Bharata that your presence is required at Kekeya because of Ashwapati. Ashwapati wanted to see him immediately. So Bharat Maharaj, he went with Shatrugna, because Shatrugna and Bharata were an inseparable pair, and Rama and Lakshmana the same. So at this time, when these two brothers had gone, Dashrath Maharaj actually conveyed the news to Lord Rama. So, and then Lord Rama and Lakshmana, they decided among themselves that they would be only one king, but in two bodies. That is, Lakshmana and Rama would be ruling the kingdom equally with justice. So at this same time, when these two siblings, when they were so graceful to each other and so respectful to each other, at the same time, actually there was a sibling rivalry in another part of the earth, and that was between Ravana and Kuvera. They were actually stepbrothers. One of them was the wife of both of them were the sons of Vishwas, but with different mothers. So at this time, Kuvera actually, he had a chariot which was gifted to him by his father Vishravas, the Muni Vishravas. So the chariot's name was Pushpak Viman. So it is one of the greatest air chariot in the history, and it can be it has many qualities. So it can go. The most important thing is it's fully air conditioned, and there are no mechanical parts in this air chariot, and it's completely silent. And the air chariot, it can adapt to how many ever people. Suppose if there are 1,000 people, who want to get on the chariot. So all the amenities of the chariot suffice for it, and it takes the shape for of a chariot which will be suitable for 1,000 people, and it can host as many people as required based on the number, and it is fully autonomous. There is no requirement for a driver, and this chariot was gifted to Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods. So Ravana, since childhood, he always loved liked this chariot, and he always felt left out because his father had not given anything to him, but had given this such a beautiful chariot to uh, beautiful chariot to his stepbrother. So at this time, Kuvera, he was the treasurer of the demigods, and he lived in an island called Lanka. So Lanka was actually it had a history where w- a mountain a mountain piece had actually fallen into the ocean, and now this it had been remade by Vishwakarma to look like a paradise, basically. So so Ravana attacked Kuvera at this time, and he Ravana attacked Kuvera at this time, and he took over Lanka, and he imprisoned his own brother Kuvera. So at the same time, he took this Pushpak Viman, and he was traveling the whole world and defeating all the warriors of the humans, any race. So they came to a mountain near Kailash. So Kailash is the place of Lord Shiva, the residence of Lord Shiva. So at this time, the Pushpak Viman, it had actually slowed down. So this Pushpak Viman, it was fully autonomous. It would go wherever the owner thinks of in his mind. So it's based on the owner's mind. So Ravana and Maricha, who was the uncle of Ravana, they were both trying to decipher what was wrong with the chariot. So then they saw a bull down. They saw a bull shouting at them from the ground, and they were saying that this is the mountain of Kailash, the residence of Lord Shiva. You have uh, mere mortals do not are not allowed onto this mountain. So this is what Nanda, who was the Nandi or Nanda, the bull of Lord Shiva, had actually told this to Ravana and Maricha. So then Ravana actually had made fun of Nandi here, and it was one of the curses. Ravana actually compared Nanda's face to that of a monkey. So at this time, Nanda, he actually uttered a curse for Ravana, which he would be annihilated by a swarm of monkeys, an army of monkeys. So this was one of the many curses which Ravana had accumulated, leading to his death. So so Ravana, he got angry here that such a small rebuke could cause such a sparking curse. So he picked up the entire Kailash mountain, and he was holding it with his own hands. So he picked up the entire Kailash mountain. So everything was moving. And then Lord Shiva, he saw what was happening, and he got angry. So Lord Shiva is always the quickest to anger. So Lord Shiva, he has a big toe. So he drilled his toe into the Kailash mountain, and immediately the whole mountain became very heavy. So this was crushing Ravana under the mountain, and Ravana was crying in pain. So at the same time, Maricha told Ravana something which could save his life, and that is Lord Shiva is the Ashutosh, which means he's very quick to forgive, and he can be pleased very easily. So he prayed to Lord Shiva to let him go. So although Lord Shiva is quick to anger, he's also quick to forgiveness. So the Lord Shiva was pleased here, and he removed his toe and let Ravana go. So at this time, there was also a son of Ravana. His name was Meghanada. So Meghanada, he later he got a new name, which was Indrajit, because of some other incidents. And Meghanada, since his childhood, the demon guru, whose name was Shukracharya, he had been carrying out many kinds of sacrifices and austerities in order to give a lot of power to Meghanada. And ultimately, Meghanada even got a boon from Brahma, saying that he would be invincible in battle as long as there was a sacrifice done to the Chandramukhi deity. So just as so Ravana and Meghnada, these two were the invincible duo of the universe that time, and they actually went to every place, every kingdom in the three worlds which they could go to, and they were trying to defeat everything basically. So at this time, they decided to take on Indra and take over the heavens. So that's why they actually went. So Indra was at the point where he was about to defeat Ravana. Ravana was on the verge of death at that time, but then Indra actually he asked for help. Indra actually he asked for help from Lord Vishnu, but Lord Vishnu seemed disgusted and he felt busy in some other matters, and he didn't even Lord Vishnu didn't even hear what Indra was saying. So a later point in his life, Brahma would explain why Lord Vishnu had done this, and we'll talk about that too. So at this time, Indra was on the verge of defeating Ravana, but then everything stopped. So as soon as Indra was going to strike Ravana, he completely froze. So what actually happened was Meghanada's magic, it had worked once again, and his noose. A noose is called like a rope. His rope actually worked, and his spell actually made Indra frozen. So after their king, the king of the demigods, after he was defeated, the all the other demigods, they could do nothing against Ravana and his army, so they simply fled away, and Indra was defeated, and he was taken. Meghanada took him with his own hands into the Pushpak Viman. So at this time, Meghanada got a new name, which was Indrajit. Indrajit means the one who had defeated Indra. So at the same time, Ravana was not satisfied. He met Narad Muni, and he had during all of his conquest, he always went against humans, petty humans who did not have much strength compared to him. So he annihilated almost all the human kingdoms which did not abide Ravana's rule. And then he came upon Narada once. So Narada Muni, he actually was a great instrument in the Lord's plan here. Multiple times he had come and like made Ravana do something more and accumulate more sins. So at this time, Narada Muni, he came and told Narada Muni that Narada Muni, he came and told Ravana that why why are you defeating all these humans? They are already defeated by death, and they will always every living being will come to death at one point. So why don't you go and fight death instead? Then all of these beings will be conquered easily. So Ravana, he liked this idea, and he thanked Narad Muni because this was very smart, because he didn't have to waste his time killing all those petty human beings, because they were already conquered by death. So if he could conquer death, that means he is the supreme of all. So that's what Ravana had going on in his mind. However, Narada, on the other side, he already knew that Ravana couldn't beat Yama Maharaj, because he was the supreme of all. So, and there would come a time when Ravana would also be defeated, and he will also be engulfed by death. So at this time, Ravana invaded the hellish planets. So at this time, the Yamadutas, they were torturing and they were torturing all the bad, sinful living people. So Ravana, looking at this, he thought even his terms of torture were not compared to that of hell. And so he also had the wisdom to know that he would also be in such a place sometime. So there were many bad sides, many different kinds of tortures going there. So Ravana, he immediately, for the first time in his life, Ravana got compassionate for these people. So Ravana, he actually attacked the Yamadutas and stopped them from doing all this. So the Yamadutas, they only knew how to torture, they only knew how to do that, but they don't know how to fight against any other people. So at this time, hearing this commotion, Yamaraj, he actually came with two other people, and these two other people were Death and Time. So they were ready for war against Ravana, and Ravana was foolish enough to even challenge the god of death. So at this time, Ravana, he was fighting and he was throwing all his missiles against Yamaraj, but Yamaraj, he actually had a Yamadanda. So this Yamadanda could neutralize everything and anything, just like the Brahmadanda. So at this time, Lord Brahma had actually come in secret to Yamaraj and told him to hold off from this battle because the death of Ravana would come by another's hands. And so basically, Brahmadev, he asked Yamaraj to spare him because it was his time of annihilation was not yet to come. So at this time, Yamaraj, he could do nothing but just to withdraw. So uh, Ravana, he actually didn't see the discussion between Lord Brahma and Yamaraj. So he didn't know what actually happened. So he just assumed that Yamaraj accepted defeat and went away. So at this time, he coined himself a new name, which was Trilokeshwar. That means the ruler of the three worlds. So at this time, Ravana, he actually had all the demigods as his servants. They had been working in his kitchens, and the nine Navagrahas, he actually made them lie on the steps of his throne. So every time he would get on his throne, he'll be stepping on all the Navagrahas, including Mangal, including Shani, all of the nine of the Navagrahas. So at this time, all of these demigods, they were looking at one place, and that is Ayodhya. They were waiting for their only hope, the beacon of hope, Lord Rama. So they were waiting for the annihilation of the demons to start. So for that to happen, first Lord Rama had to come out of Ayodhya, and he actually had to go into the forest and defeat all the demons there. And then finally he had to go to Lanka and defeat all the demons. So this was actually Lord's actual plan, and he had a specific method of doing this. First of all, he actually has two main instruments in this plan of annihilating the demons. So the first instrument is Keki, who was actually the wife of Dashath Maharaj, the most important wife you can consider. So at this time, Kaikeyi was used to send off Rama for exile, and the second person, which is the most unlikely instrument for Lord Rama, the second person was actually Mother Sita. So Mother Sita was actually used here Mother Sita was actually used here in order to bring the demise of Ravana. So actually, in Mother Sita's previous life, she was actually Vedavati, and Vedavati, she had immense power, and she was doing so many austerities. She was doing tapasya in order to get Lord Vishnu as her husband. So at this time, Ravana happened to see Vedavati, who was, although she was doing so many penances and sacrifices, she was still shining with the effulgence, and she was still very beautiful. So Ravana got captivated here, and he decided that he wanted Vedavati, just like he abducted many other people. So at this time, as Ravana introduced himself as the Trilokeshwar and all that things. So at this time, Vedavati was not impressed because she already told Ravana that the only person she'd accept as her husband was actually only, Lord Vishnu. But Vedavati, she got very angry as soon as Ravana had touched Vedavati. So as soon as Ravana had touched Vedavati, Vedavati became infit of serving Lord Vishnu. So just before so Vedavati did something unexpected here. So the first thing she did was she told Ravana that I will come back into your life later and I will be the cause of your death. And then after that, immediately, Vedavati went into flames. She basically gave up her body then and there. So the second instrument of this mission was Mother Sita herself. And we will learn about that later in the session. So now, as Ravana was celebrating there with the demigods in his kitchens, at the same time, the whole of Ayodhya was in celebrations because the youngest, they were actually having a new prince and they were having a new king. So the entire Ayodhya was in celebrations. Everyone was jubilant, and so many people from other states and kingdoms, they were coming to Ayodhya to see this event. So at this time, there was one person actually who didn't understand anything which was going on. And that was Mantra, who was actually KK's servant, so maid servant. So this maidservant, she always had a grudge against Rama because once when they were in school, in when the children were in school, the four brothers, when they were in school, so they actually were learning how to use the bow and arrow. So they actually wanted to try it on someone, and the hunchbacked lady, which was Mantra, was the perfect target for them. So Lord Rama, he took up his bow, he put some mud on his arrow, and he shot the arrow at Mantra's hunchback. So this was 20 years ago, and now Mantra was bearing the same hatred against Lord Rama, and now she was using it against him and trying to uh, trying to uh, trying to get rid of Rama and instead favoring Mother Kaikeyi's son, which was Bharata. So Mantra didn't know what all celebration was happening, what kind of great event was happening. So she asked one person, and she was informed that Lord Rama was being coronated as Prince Regent instead of Bharata. So he immediately went to KK and told that what was actually happening. So Mother KK, she was actually very happy at this time because Lord Rama had actually treated Mother KK as her mother more than Kausalya. So Mother KK was very happy because Lord Rama had served her more than Bharata. So at this time, Mantra was very angry that such a foolish lady could exist. So she inserted poison into Mother Keki's mind. She kept on saying so many things, and she gave some valid arguments like that Bharata had been sent away just at this time when Rama was being coronated as king. And basically, finally, Keki was convinced because actually she was the one who used to distribute charity every time. But now today, Kausalya was actually distributing charity, and uh, Mantra was worried that Keki would be actually the side wife this time, side queen. So, and if this happened, Mantra wouldn't also get so much reputation and so much fame. So she started inserting this poison into KK's mind, and finally she was convinced. So at this time, Mantra reminded KK of these two boons. The boons when KK was the charioteer of Nemi Maharaj against Sambrasura. So she told to take these two boons at this time and ask for two things. The first thing is Bharat Maharaj be coronated as the king of Ayodhya. Second boon to ask is, the second boon was to send away Lord Rama for 14 years of exile. So KK was confused here. Wasn't coronating Bharat Maharaj as king is enough? Why to send away Lord Rama? So Mantra explained that it would take a long time for Bharata to convince the people and gain the favor of the people. So if Lord Rama is not there, 14 years should be enough in order for Bharat Maharaj to gain the favor of the people. So this is why 14 years of exile, and he should not step into the kingdom of Ayodhya. So this was exactly what Keki had asked Dashrath Maharaj. So first, she actually made herself she went to the sulking chamber, which was actually where like there was a bed and everything. So she just lay on the ground, her hair disheveled and her sari here and there, and her jewels and everything here and there. So it is obvious that she was very disturbed at that time. So normally whenever Dashrath Maharaj he actually came to visit the palace of Kaikeyi. It was always full of celebration and prompt reception for Dashrath Maharaj. This time he could see none of that happening, and he asked the maid servants where was Kaikeyi. And so at this time, he actually KK actually told the boons, and she actually broke Dashrata completely. So, and Dashrata even went to the point where he actually had to call Rama and tell him this. And how much ever Dashrath Maharaj had tried to convince Kaikeyi, she had not been able to do anything, and she didn't change a single bit. And finally it went to the point where Sumatra came and informed that the auspicious time for Lord Rama's coronation was almost ending. So he was asking for Dashrath Maharaj to come here quickly. So Dashrath Maharaj immediately told, just leave that, get Rama here this instant. So Sumatra came back again without Rama. So um, Sumatra asked again. So this time Dashrath Maharaj, he again told, just get Rama here this instant. So after this, Rama was informed about this by Kaikeyi, even though, and Kaikeyi was so shameless in order to say this just in defaming Dashrath Maharaj, that he was not truthful and not giving the boons. So at this time, Rama, he had to uh, Rama actually had to pacify three people, and the first one and the easiest person to pacify was his own mother, Mother Kausalya. So Mother Kausalya, she actually, although she was neglected as a wife of Dashrath Maharaj, and KK was already always favored. So Mother Kaushalya, she never used to care about, she never used to try and get Dashrath's attention, and instead used it to serve the Supreme Lord. So when Mother Kaushalya was informed of this, it was heartbreaking for her, and she let out a lament. She was lamenting for her misfortune even after she had been serving the Lord for so long. So the next person who was moderately easy to pacify was Lakshmana. So Lakshmana, he was very angry. He was on the verge of just going and killing both Kaikeyi and his father. So as always, Rama had his way with words, and he could pacify, and he had an argument for everything. So that's how Lakshmana had actually Lakshmana had actually stopped all his anger and decided to obey his elder brother. So the hardest and the most challenging one was Mother Sita. So after endless talks, finally they came to a conclusion that Mother Sita was also coming with Lord Rama, Lord Rama to the forest. Excuse me. So at this time, even Lakshmana was present. So Lakshmana also asked that he also be allowed to come to the forest. And Lakshmana at this time, he also had many valid arguments. And finally, Rama had all three let both of them come, and they became a trio which was going to the forest. So at this time, Lakshmana, he had to convey this news to his wife, Urmila. So Urmila, she was a painter and she always used to do drawings, paintings of Lord Rama and Sita. And this time, she was doing the painting, a beautiful painting of Lord Rama and Mother Sita when they were on the throne for the coronation. So no one was actually allowed into her room when she was painting except Lakshmana. So when Lakshmana went and told the news to Urmila, she was actually lost in herself, Urmila. She actually, instead of letting out a lament or crying or being angry or anything like that, she simply told that, let me be of service to you. So Lakshmana, he never used to sleep during the exile because he actually had to protect his brother, who was actually he had to protect his brother and mother Sita during the night. So Lakshmana, he actually never slept. So for 14 years, Lakshmana had decided that he would never sleep. So actually, later on in the exile, there was actually a goddess named Nidra Devi, and Nidra Devi was the goddess of sleep. So if you're sleeping, it's because of Nidra Devi. So Nidra Devi actually, she went to Lakshmana and she told, why are you up so late? Why don't you take a sleep? Come here, I'll give you the best of the luxury and everything. So Lakshmana told that, how can I sleep when my dear elder brother and his chaste wife is sleeping on the ground, on the ground. So Lakshmana, he told that my wife at Ayodhya, she will take the sleeping for me. In these 14 years, I won't be sleeping. Go ask her to sleep. So Urmila, who was the wife of Lakshmana, she actually had the determination, and she was serving uh, her husband so well that she took up the sleep of Lakshmana too. So that means in the night time, she would be sleeping herself for her own sleep. That would be her own sleep. And in the daytime, she would also be sleeping, and that is Lakshmana's sleep. So for 14 years, she actually was always sleeping and she never woke up. So that is the conviction of her. So so it was finally time for the trio to move on. And after saying a prompt goodbye, and Sumantra, who is the charioteer of Dashrath Maharaj, he actually took Lord Rama and Mother Sita and Lakshmana to the forests. So at this time, they had the outskirts, they had come across Guha, who was actually a friend of Dashrath Maharaj. So a close friend of Dashrath Maharaj. So after Sumantra explained all that had happened, they had lived under Guha's shelter for a couple of weeks. And even the procession from Ayodhya, they were also actually coming with Lord Rama. So they told that they didn't want to be in Ayodhya because they didn't want to be under Bharat Maharaj. They would rather be under Lord Rama. So at this time, all the people, they were here itself. They were at Guha's place, and they actually they were at Guha's place, and they wouldn't go back to Ayodhya. So at this time, Lord Rama told them that it is your service to serve the king, Dashrath Maharaj, and the future king Bharat Maharaj. So please do not come here and stay with me, because it will be a life full of austerities. So what actually happened then is, during the night time when all the people were asleep, Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita, they decided to move away from them so that they will lose the track of them. So they took Guha's help and they went they went across the Ganga River. So then the famous boatman story happened, and everybody knows this story, and it is one of the most famous story. And this boatman, he was actually fully convicted to his occupational duty, which was traveling across the water and tra- uh, helping people travel. So at this time, Lord Rama and Sita, they were extremely pleased with this boatman. So Mother Sita, she actually wanted to give so many riches and so many luxuries to this boatman, but she had none of those, and she couldn't give anything to anyone she wanted. No, so she decided to take off her necklace and give it to the boatman as a reward. So this necklace actually, it was the best of the necklaces, and it would be a lot. So any normal person would take it and sell it for money. So, but this boatman actually did not do any of that things. He actually told that people of the same occupational duty need not pay each other. For example, when a barber, a hair cutter or barber, when a barber is cutting another barber's hair, there is no requirement to pay each other. So this was the example that he actually took. And so this example, the boatman actually, he told that we are of the same occupational duty, so there is no requirement for you to pay anything to me for any reward or anything. So then Lord Rama had a doubt. So I'm not a boatman. How have you come to the conclusion that we are both of the same occupational duty? So at this time, the boatman told that I travel across this Ganga river, and I transport people from that end of the shore, that end of the river to this end of the river. In the same way, you are the boatman of the spiritual world. You transport people from the material world to the spiritual world. So this is what the boatman told, and Rama was extremely impressed here by the boatman's keen sense of knowledge, and he basically decided that he actually wanted to give something, but this boatman refused. So finally, they come across Bharadwaj Muni's ashram, and they had stopped with prompt reception there. And later after that, they asked Bharadwaj where would be the perfect place to stay. So Bharadwaj actually told about Chitrakoot. So Chitrakoot was a beautiful mountainscape, and it had a lot of natural beauty here. So Mother Sita, she was actually captivated by this, and they decided that they are going to Chitrakoot mountain. So this was actually the Chitrakoot, and they were residing in this mountain. So back in Ayodhya, the king, he was on the verge of death here, and he actually was facing excruciating pain here, and he was actually telling his wives that his two wives, not Kaikeyi. So he was actually telling his wives the actual reason for why he was still not dead. Um, so there was actually a backstory here, and so Dashrath Maharaj, he was actually a wielder of sonic archery. So sonic archery, basically, he could shoot an arrow based. He could aim a target based on their sound. So if he would hear a rattle in the jungle, he could he'll just shoot the arrow to the based on the sound. Based on the sound, he could locate the target. So he actually heard water noises at the river, and he actually thought some animal was drinking at the river. So due to his negligence of sonic archery, so Dashrath Maharaj, he actually was a great wielder of it. So he immediately shot the arrow, and the arrow took its target, and it actually pierced a child near the river. So this was actually the only son of of his parents, and he was actually getting water for his thirsty parents. And his parents were indeed blind, and they couldn't go out on themselves, so they were completely relying on their son, and their son was on the verge of death. So. Uh, Dashrath Maharaj had seen what he had done, and he had seen his negligence and everything. So he finally decided that the right thing to do was to take the pot and go back and at least give the water to his parents. So Dashrath Maharaj, he actually told this incident to his parents, and although Dashrath Maharaj, he was sorry, he actually the parents were actually angry, and they were also uh, impressed that he actually had the courage to actually come and tell what had actually happened. So they actually told her the consequences which Dashrath Maharaj would have to face. So this was indeed a sin, because killing this Brahman boy, it was actually killing a Brahmana is actually a sin. So Dashrath Maharaj, he would face a lot of sin now. So to get out of this sin, there has to be a curse which would dilute the sin. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this action, it also has an action on him. So uh, the opposite reaction, it had already happened. The parents of this boy, it had actually they had entered the fire along with their son, and they had been reunited there. So before going, they actually let out a curse. They uttered a curse on Dashrath Maharaj that uh, just as these parents had died of separation of their beloved child, in the same way, Dashrath Maharaj would die at the pinnacle due to separation from his son. So he was so Dashrath Maharaj was telling his wives that the pain had to reach the pinnacle, the highest point, then and only he would die actually. So at this time, Vashishta Muni, he's after the death of Dashrath Maharaj, there would be no one to carry out the final rites. So immediately they sent messengers to Kekeya in order to ask Bharata and Shatrugna to come back and carry out the final rites. So it was a long journey. It was an 8-day journey to Kekeya, and the messengers did not speak anything about the happenings of what was happening in Ayodhya. Although Bharat Maharaj had asked for the welfare of his father, his mothers, his brothers, and everyone there, Vashishta Muni, the messengers would not speak a thing. They just told, leave for Ayodhya right away. So in prompt after they said their rushed goodbyes to their grandfathers and everyone there, they quickly took on the journey back to Ayodhya, which was going to take another 8 days. So on the way, Bharata actually, he saw many jackals and crows. These were actually he saw many bad omens basically. So he actually thought that something wrong would have something had happened to the king. So then he thought that nothing would happen to the king because there was Rama by his side. But still, seeing these omens, he was not very happy, and he was getting scared. So after Bharata was told about what had happened by Kaikeyi, uh, Bharata immediately had gone away from Kaikeyi, and this was not the reaction that Kaikeyi had actually thought would happen. So Kaikeyi, Bharata, he actually yelled at his mother, and he actually sent out so many painful words for Kaikeyi. And at this time, she understood her mistake. Even the death of Dashrath Maharaj was not enough to correct Kaikeyi. And finally, the son actually seeing his seeing what had actually happened, he was actually aghast to this. So, and this time they actually found the servant who actually caused all this mantra. So Shatrugna actually went and brought the mantra um, to Bharat Maharaj. So Kaikeyi was there, and she tried to release the mantra from Shatrugna, but Shatrugna was convicted, and he was going to harm mantra in some other way. So Mantra's hunchback, she was a hunchback lady, so her hunchback had actually broken, and Bharata told Kaikeyi was pleading Bharata to let Mantra go. So, excuse me. So Bharata, he actually told Shatrugana one thing, that if Lord Rama was happy about killing Mantra, then I would have done it long ago. So at this, Shatrugana was he was actually a little fearful, and he let go of Mantra. So at this time, Mother Kausalya and Vashishta Muni, everyone was questioning the integrity of Bharat Maharaj. So he had to prove, it was very painful for Bharat Maharaj to be questioned and doubted like this, although he was so close with his brother, and he always used to stand beside his brother. So he had to prove of his innocence to Mother Kausalya, to so many people, whoever asked. The entire Ayodhya, he had to prove his innocence. So finally, he actually proved all of them, and they decided that they would take on a march. They would take a whole march in order to go back and retrieve, come back with Rama. So at this time, Bharat Maharaj, he actually also took a vow. He took a vow that he actually took a vow that he wouldn't enter the kingdom in these 14 years. And the second thing, he told that he would only wear three bark and deer skin, just like Lord Rama and Lakshmana and Mother Sita were forced to do. And he would also not sleep on the same level of where Lord Rama was sleeping. So because Lord Rama was sleeping on the ground, Bharat Maharaj, he decided that he would dig himself into the earth, then sleep. So this hope march, it had so many thousands and thousands of citizens, and it was carried by 60,000 chariots, and many elephants, like 9,000 elephants and 10,000 cavalrymen. There were so many people in this march, and they were all very happy. They were thankful that Bharat Maharaj was like this, and they were happy how he turned out. So basically, so they finally reached Goha's place, and Goha actually, he wanted to test the intentions uh, of Bharat Maharaj. So again, there was a test of intentions, the proof of innocence. So even after Vashishta Muni had actually confirmed of Bharata's genuineness, he still felt that Goha still felt the need to the need to question and confront Bharata himself. So this is exactly what Goha did. He actually went and asked the intentions of Bharat Maharaj. So Bharat Maharaj actually told the genuine intentions, and Goha was very impressed. And the next person which he would go to was actually Bharadwaj Muni. So Bharadwaj Muni, he actually asked the same thing, and in order to prove to Bharadwaj, he also told of his famous his vow, which he actually told to which he actually told in order to prove to Bharadwaj Muni. However, Bharadwaj Muni, he already knew of everything, because he was a sage, and he actually had the power to know anything. So he was just testing and playing with Bharata, basically. So Bharadwaj Muni, he had a specific purpose here. So he actually asked to be introduced to the three queens. And he made sure not to ask for the welfare of Dashrath Maharaj, because of what he already knew he already knew about what had actually conspired in Ayodhya. So he asked for the introduction of the three queens from Bharata. So the first to be introduced was Kausalya, and then Sumitra, and then finally it came to the introduction of Kaikeyi. So there was actually one sentence which actually resounded in Kaikeyi's mind. She is actually not the mother of mine; she is the mother of all miseries. So this actually hurt Kaikeyi so much that she already had understood her mistake long ago, and Bharadwaj Muni, he actually closed the gap between Kaikeyi and Bharata, and he actually told the virtue of forgiveness, and he also hinted one thing, that the demise of the moon of the sun in the of the moon in the Ayodhya would mean the rise of the son Ramachandra, which means he would actually, it will be the for the better good of the world, which because he was hinting at the annihilation of the demons which would happen due to this exile. So but Bharat Maharaj, he, after so long, finally he went and embraced his mother, and Mother Kaikeyi, she was already very sorry for this, and she even she was repenting on everything that she did and every action. So at this same time, but Lakshmana, he actually made the perfect house for Rama and Sita to live in, while he would be on the outside. So from this house, Lakshmana actually spotted an army across the Chitrakoot mountains. So uh, he told an army is headed this way, and Rama actually questioned whose army was this. So whose army do you think it is, Lakshmana? So this is what Rama asked. So Lakshmana made some deadly presumptions, and he took up his bow immediately. So he actually assumed it was Bharata's army, and they were coming to destroy and kill all three of them. So he could clearly see the flag of Bharat Maharaj. So that's how he identified this. So this was actually quick to presume. Lakshmana was actually quick to make presumptions, but Rama had he had to correct him, because Rama had a specific way of correcting him. So that was, first he would find the good in what arguments Lakshmana had told. So he actually brought light to the good things, and then he spoke about the negative parts. When you're speaking good about someone, there is no need to talk bad about someone. So this is what exactly. So Lakshmana, he spoke something good, like something about Dashrata maybe. So he spoke something like that, but he also brought light to the bad part. He made his own presumptions, and he made his own he made his own emotions and feelings for it. So he was very angry. So Rama, he was also very angry he looked angry, and he decided to correct Lakshmana, and he felt very ashamed here. So Lakshmana, he actually wanted to change the topic here, because he actually felt really ashamed, and he couldn't think of himself anymore. So he actually told, if Bharata is coming with his march, then our father will also be on his elephant, and he will be coming. So then after this, the brothers the four brothers had finally had a reunion after a couple months, and Rama asked for the welfare of Dashrath Maharaj, because he couldn't see Dashrath Maharaj anywhere in this march. So Bharat Maharaj, he actually told Rama about the demise of the king. So Rama, he actually told, Rama was aghast at what had actually happened in Ayodhya as soon as he left. So Bharat Maharaj, so at first, actually, when uh, when the brothers were reunioned, Bharata and Shatrugna, they were in deer skin, and they were dressed like Aztecs. So uh, Lord Rama, he actually couldn't identify them, first of all, because he thought they would be in a princely uniform, and they would have the best of the best clothes and everything like that. So Rama, he was really not expecting this, and later on, he was informed by Lakshmana of the vow that Bharata had actually taken in order, and he was very proud, basically. And Bharata, he decided that he would stay. He wouldn't even go into the uh, city of Ayodhya, the kingdom of Ayodhya. Instead, he would stay on the outskirts, and he would place the sandals of Lord Rama on the throne. As you can see, these sandals. So he would place these sandals on the throne of Ayodhya. So this is exactly what Bharat Maharaj had actually done. He took he was doing all the affairs of the kingdom from Nandigram, and he would stay there for 14 years, and he would lead the life of an ascetic as for 14 years until Lord Rama had actually come back. And he also told Rama one thing, that if on the 14th year, the first day after the 14th year, if I don't see Lord Rama, then I will enter the fire. So this is another vow which Bharat Maharaj he actually made, and the glories of Bharat Maharaj, it's endless, and we can speak about it for hours together. So after this, they decided, after all the parade, the whole march, the parade, it had gone back. Although they were unsuccessful, they were not successful in bringing Lord Rama back to Ayodhya. They were still more convinced now that under Bharat Maharaj they could at least uh, uh, wait for. They would know that the joy of having Lord Rama back in 14 years would be awaiting. So on in every house they each marked the date of Lord Rama's arrival, and 14 years from now that would happen, and it would be celebrated as Diwali. So at this time, Lord Rama and Lakshmana and Sita, they decided they have to change base. So uh, they came across a sage whose name was Atri Muni. So Atri Muni was the wife of Atri Muni was the wife of Anasuya Devi, and Anasuya Devi, she actually had a a big history beyond it. So she was actually known for two major events, and one of them was uh, it was based on based on the functioning of the universe. So once the entire universe, the sun, it would actually not set. So this was actually the work of Shilavati, who was there was actually a sage named Ugrasravas, and the wife of Ugrasravas was actually Shilavati. So Shilavati, she was very chaste, and she would always, although Ugrasravas was not a good, although he lived the life of a sage, he could not control himself. He could not control his mind. So he started living a hypocrite. He started becoming a hypocrite, and he lived a life of hypocrisy, and finally he got a really bad stage of leprosy, and his entire limbs were melting away, and but his urge for pleasure, his desire for pleasure, it only grew. So although Shilavati was the loving wife of Ugrasravas, he actually went to another courtesan, and another person, another girl. So Shilavati, even she was so chaste that even though Ugrasravas was doing such a thing and cheating Shilavati would actually take Ugrasravas to the house of this courtesan. So on his way back, standing on his way back from the courtesan, so this Ugrasravas, he had leprosy, so he couldn't do much there. So there was actually a sage, an austere sage, whose name was Mandavya there. So Mandavya Muni, so he was actually in the ashram. So so at this time there was a temple. There was actually this ashram was considered like a temple because it was a place of worship. So there was actually some dacoits, some robbers. So these robbers, they actually robbed some jewels and gems. They robbed some money from the king of that area. So at this time they thought it would be wise in order to they thought it would be wise in order for them to store the money. They could hide the loot which they got, they could hide the bounty that they got here in the ashram. So this king, he quickly found out where they were, and he decided that the sage would have to be speared and the soldiers would have to be speared. So although Mandavya Muni, he was still on one leg, he a spear was uh, stabbed into him, and he was still on one leg. So then, although then Ugrashra was not, he was actually on the hands of Shilavati. So uh, the sun actually, it had set, the sun had set, and then Ugrashravas, he had leprosy, so he couldn't walk very well because of his limbs. So he actually didn't see Mandavya Muni, and he actually tripped on Mandavya Muni, and the spear had actually gone more inside Mandavya Muni. So Mandavya Muni, he actually let out a curse. And he said that the sunrise will, as soon as the sun rises, your death shall come to place. So then Shilavati, she actually felt really, she got very angry, because although this sage, he could see that her husband had leprosy, and yet the sage was quick to curse, even seeing the helpless state of this person. So so she got very angry here, and this if she became a widow, she could not live on her own, and it will be the same condition just like the sage. So she told something. If by if I have done anything, if have been loyal to my husband, if I have been chaste to my husband, and have not deviated in anything in serving him, then let the sun not rise today. So this was what Shilavati actually told. So Mandavya Muni, he couldn't see actually what happened, and the power emanating from Shilavati, she was actually completely full of effulgence. So uh, Mandavya Muni, he was actually really confused, and he thought, could a woman actually stop the functioning of the universe? So they only they could only wait and watch what had actually happened. So uh, the sun it would actually not rise. Surya Dev, he actually had a chariot, and he would go around the earth. Although we think that the earth goes around the sun, but in reality, the sun, it's a chariot, and it goes around the earth. So Surya Dev, he was actually frozen. The chariot was completely frozen, and the sun would not rise. So Mandavya Muni, he couldn't understand anything here, which was going on. The entire universe was broken. And when amid this, um, there was actually a being named Anasuya Devi, who actually was on the verge of fixing this. So she actually brought the sun back into motion, and later on, he brought the sun back into motion, and as the sun rised, Ugrashravas, he had actually died, and but by the grace of Anasuya Devi, Ugrashravas was brought back to life. So both the Muni was satisfied because his curse had come true, and Shilavati was also satisfied. So this was the fame of Anasuya Devi. She basically fixed the universe, the entire universe, and the functioning of the universe. So among all this, the creator of the universe was Lord Brahma. He was actually very happy at this, because he saw the woman leading such spotless and great lives, that even the universe had to bend for them in order for them. So there was another incident where the wives of the Trinity, that is, the Trinity is Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and Lord Vishnu. So the wives were Saraswati Mata, Lakshmi, Lakshmi Mata, and the other one. Okay. So they were actually doubtful, and Parvati Mata, sir. So they were actually doubtful whether the about the integrity and about how true was Anasuya Devi. So they, after continuous forcefulness, they actually convinced their husbands to actually go to Anasuya Devi. So the Anasuya, these three, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, they had actually gone as some middle-aged young Brahmana people. So they actually, as they went to Anasuya Devi, she treated them as guests and asked them anything they wanted. So these Brahmanas, who were actually Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu, they actually told that we have only one desire, and it is for you to feed us. So at this time, uh, Anasuya Devi, she was in a fix here because she wanted to be loyal to her husband Atri Muni, and but in the same time fulfill the wishes of these guests. So all these three Brahmanas, they were told to wait by Anasuya Devi, and Anasuya Devi, she actually sprinkled some water on them and chanted some mantras. So these three boys, they were confused. So and after the after Anasuya Devi had completed, the three boys, they had actually become small 1-year-old toddlers. So seeing these three babies, Anasuya Devi didn't hesitate anymore, and she actually fed them. And so she decided that because Atri Muni and Anasuya Devi did not have any children, she actually became attached to these three children. But the absence of these three children was causing a lot of uh, a lot of wreckage in heaven. So the three wives of the Trinity, they actually went to Anasuya Devi, and they told of actually the identities of these people. So when after hearing this, Anasuya Devi, she was actually very embarrassed of what actually happened, and she returned the babies and showed the babies to Lakshmi, Parvati, and Saraswati Matas. So after seeing this, they saw their husbands being in such a helpless state, the three most powerful celestials in such a helpless state. So this was the person who they were meeting, the famous Anasuya Devi. So they were expecting something very great from such a lady, and as soon as they actually went, they were actually Anasuya Devi was actually giving them guidance on where to go next, and there was actually some advice given to Mother Sita. So she actually, Anasuya Devi gave a boon, and this boon, Mother Sita refused and told, "With my husband, with my side, what else needs and boons do I need?" So this Anasuya Devi was very impressed at this, and she told one thing: as long as you keep this mood of remembering Lord Rama at all times, then you will be absolutely safe. But there'll be a day if you forget this mood, if you think of something else besides Rama, if you desire something else besides Rama, and that day will be your worst day, and this will prove true in the future, and it would lead to the abduction of Mother Sita. So from here, Anasuya Devi, she guided them to Dandakaranya. So this was another forest which was south of where they were. So this was actually where it started. So from Ayodhya, they went to Prayagraj, where and you can see the first two dots around there. Between there, somewhere would be Guha's place, and near Prayagraj there would be Bharadwaj Muni's place, and 60 miles from there you could see Chitrakoot mountain. And from Chitrakoot mountain, somewhere here would below Chitrakoot mountain, you could see the you will be having the Atri Muni's ashram, and the place where it all happened. And based on Anasuya Devi's instruction, they'll be going down into Odisha and Chhattisgarh into Dandakaranya. So we will cover all that in the next session. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
1 minute. Yeah, very nice, Anantha. So, a lot of stories and you have. Actually, I'm missing some of them, but we can. Multitasking while hearing the lecture. Okay. So you have covered till what is that? Balakanda?
Balakanda.
Is Ayodhya Kanda covered? Right? Covered, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ayodhya Kanda. Next is Aranya Kanda.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Next Aranya after Kishkinda, Sundarakanda, Yuddhakanda. Okay, so how many more?
Prabhuji, actually, I don't know, Prabhuji. I could like compact them into some big sessions or into many small sessions.
Okay, so you have not planned how many sessions, but you'll be going on, right? Is
Yes,
that
Prabhuji. It'll be going on
okay,
till wherever it takes.
Okay. Yes. Enough wonderful information. Yes, it's kind of of course, all the Indians, Indru, మన వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా రామాయణం తెలుసు. రామాయణం తెలియని హిందూ ఉండడు. ఏమో ఈ రోజుల్లో ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ అట్లీస్ట్ 50 ఏళ్ళ కింది వరకు రామాయణం తెలియని హిందూ ఉండేవాడు కాదు. ఫర్ దట్ మ్యాటర్ ఇండియన్స్ అందరూ రామాయణం తెలుసు. సో ఇదేంటంటే ఫర్ యువర్ థింగ్ ఇస్ లైక్ ఎ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ఏ recollection and repetition of all the wonderful things about Ramayana. Yes. Okay, very good. Any questions to Anantha, Prabhuji, Mataji? No? You know Ramayana, right? Everyone knows Ramayana, so no more questions. Right? I think I have some question to Anantha.
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
This one. I wrote down this question. Okay, while I'm searching for this, can anybody have any more questions? No.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Prabhuji, just want to say like Anantha Prabhu చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు అన్నమాట. సో రామాయణం ఎన్నిసార్లు విన్నా మళ్ళీ వినాలనిపించేటట్టుగా చాలా బాగా చెప్పారు. He did like very good homework. So I just want to say thank you to him.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna ma.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Last 2 days జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదు కానీ మార్నింగ్ తర్వాత యూట్యూబ్ లో విన్నాను. సో పవన్ చాలా బాగా చెప్తున్నాడు. రామాయణం తెలిసిందే అయినా హీఈస్ కవరింగ్ మైన్యూట్ డీటెయిల్స్ లైక్ ట్రావెల్ రూట్ ఇలాంటి అండ్ దెర్ ఆర్ సమ్ పాయింట్స్ ప్రభుజీ విచ్ మాకు తెలియని కూడా చిన్నవి. వెరీ నైస్ ప్రభుజీ అండ్ హ్యాట్స్ ఆఫ్ టు అనంత. సెలవుల్లో టైం వేస్ట్ చేసుకోకుండా ఇలాంటివి చేస్తున్నందుకు. ఇవాళ రేపు పిల్లలు ఎలా తయారయ్యారంటే బాగా అలసిపోయా, ఐ వాంట్ టు టేక్ 1 year ఆఫ్ అంటారు. 1 year ఆఫ్ లేదో కూడా అర్థం కాదు. అలాంటిది సెలవుల్లో కూడా హీఈస్ యూటిలైజింగ్ ఇట్ వెరీ నైస్లీ. వెరీ హ్యాపీ ప్రభుజీ. అనంత అన్నయ్యను వాళ్ళ పేరెంట్స్ ని అందరినీ ఆల్ మై అప్రిసియేషన్స్ అండ్ బ్లెస్సింగ్స్ ప్రభుజీ. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Thank you.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, దండవత్ ప్రణామ్.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, తిరుపతి బ్రో.
ఇప్పుడు మేము ఎప్పుడు మీరు అన్నట్టు 50 ఏళ్ల కింద చదివిన రామాయణాన్ని మళ్ళీ అనంత ప్రభు ద్వారా పునశ్చరణ చేసుకున్నందుకు ధన్యవాదాలు. ముఖ్యంగా ఆయన చెప్పే విధానం ఒక పెద్ద ఒక లెక్చరర్ ఒక క్లాస్ లో చెప్పినట్టు విధానంగా ఆ పిల్లవాడు చాలా ఎంత పరిపూర్ణంగా చెప్తున్నారంటే మేమందరం పిల్లల వైపు ఆయన ఒక లెక్చరర్ అయిపోయి మాకు మొత్తం పాఠాలు వినిపించి విత్ రూట్ మ్యాప్ తో సహా ఐఎమ్ వెరీ వెరీ హ్యాపీ. ముఖ్యంగా అవి ఇచ్చినప్పుడు సంస్కారం, తల్లిదండ్రులు ఇచ్చిన సంస్కారానికి శిరస్సు వంచి నమస్కరిస్తున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే ఈ పిల్లలకు ఈనాటి పిల్లలకైతే ఏమాత్రం ఇంగిత జ్ఞానం లేకుండా పెరుగుతున్నారు. ముఖ్యంగా తల్లిదండ్రులకు అసలే లేదు. ఆ పరిస్థితిలో ఈ తులసి ముఖం లాంటి పిల్లవాడు బయటకు వచ్చినందుకు అసలు వాళ్ళ తల్లిదండ్రులకు నేను చాలా ధన్యవాదాలు తెలియజేస్తున్నా. మీ ద్వారా ఇంకా వికసించాలని ఆశిస్తున్నాను. ధన్యవాదాలు ప్రభుజీ. అనంత ప్రభుజీ, చాలా భవిష్యత్తు ఉన్నది నాయన. నువ్వు ఇంకా అంటే ఒక మంచి ఆరేటర్ గా ఒక విధమైన నీ యొక్క స్పీచ్ ద్వారా, నీ యొక్క సందేశం ద్వారా ఇంకెంతో మంది మారాలే. అది ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ గా తీసుకొని నీలాంటి యువకులు బయటికి రావాలని ఆ భగవంతుని కోరుతున్నాను. థ్యాంక్ యూ ప్రభుజీ.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It's all blessings, Prabhuji. Balgam Prabhuji blessings and all of your blessings, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Mohan Rao.
Hare Krishna Anant Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
మిమ్మల్ని కన్న తల్లిదండ్రుల పాదాభివందనాలు. ఎందుకంటే మీరు చెప్పిన విషయాలలో చాలా అద్భుతమైన విషయాలు. దశరథుడు అంటే దశ విధాల దశ దిక్కుల యుద్ధం చేయగలవాడు అని చెప్పడము, ప్లస్ కైలాస స్టోరీ, తర్వాత శివుడి స్టోరీ, తర్వాత అనసూయ స్టోరీ, మళ్ళా గుహుడు పరస్పరంగా వాళ్ళకి ఎట్లా ఇద్దరు ఈక్వల్ అని చెప్పిన ఎగ్జాంపుల్స్ సూపర్ ప్రభుజీ.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, దండవత్ ప్రణాం.
Hare Krishna, Dandot Pranam.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత. సో
Hare Krishna.
వండర్ఫుల్ గా చాలా డీటెయిల్ గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తావు. అండ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఏంటంటే బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ స్టోరీస్ అన్ని, చాలా స్టోరీస్ మాకు తెలియవు. సో ఆ తెలియని విషయాలు కూడా చాలా చాలా తెలుసుకున్నాం ఈ రోజు. తర్వాత ద వే యూ ప్రెజెంటెడ్, ద హార్డ్ వర్క్, ది ఎఫర్ట్స్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈజ్ అప్రిషియబుల్ అనంత్. సో మీ హోల్ ఫ్యామిలీ ఈజ్ బ్లెస్డ్. చాలా చాలా హ్యాపీ. థ్యాంక్ యూ అనంత్. హరే కృష్ణ.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, దండవత్ ప్రణాం.
హరే కృష్ణ అమ్మా, దండోత్ ప్రణాం. సారీ
ప్రభుజీ
మిమ్మల్ని డిసప్పాయింట్ ఏం చేయలేదు కదా.
పర్లేదు ప్రభుజీ, నేను చిన్నాడు అని చెప్పి అనంతం చెప్పమని చెప్పేస్తున్నా మాతాజీ అడిగితే. పర్వాలేదు మాతాజీ, పిల్లలు అసలు రెడీ అయ్యారంటే అంతకంటే ఏం కావాలి. వాళ్ళు చెప్పడానికి ముందు మనం ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి. నాదే ఉంది, నేను రొటీన్ రామాయణం చెప్తున్నాడు కదా చెప్పమన్నా. అట్లా ఏం లేదు ప్రభుజీ, ప్రిపేర్ అయితే అయ్యాను ప్రభుజీ. వన్ డే హడావుడి పడి.
అయ్యో మాతాజీ, సారీ మాతాజీ, నా వల్ల.
నో నీడ్ ఆఫ్ సారీ అనంత. నిజంగా అసలు నా క్లాస్ విని రేపు నువ్వు చూడు ఎలా ఉంటుందో. నీది చాలా బాగుంది అసలు. హరే కృష్ణ.
అలా అనుకుంటున్నా.
నేను ఇవాళే దశరథుడికి నేమి అని మహారాజ్ పేరు అని ఇవాళే తెలిసింది నాకు. అలా నేను కూడా వింటి నేర్చుకుంటున్నా కొన్ని కొత్త కొత్తవి. తర్వాత గుహుడు మెటీరియల్ దీని నుంచి నువ్వు పంపిస్తే నేను ఇక్కడ ఈ షోర్ నుంచి ఆ షోర్ తీసుకెళ్తున్నాను అన్నది భలే నచ్చింది నాకు. నిజంగా చాలా బాగా చెప్తున్నావు అనంత. గ్రేట్ అసలు. అదే పాప కూడా ఎంత బాగా పాడింది నిత్య అసలు. ముందు చాలా బాగా పాడింది అసలు. అందరూ అన్నట్టు పేరెంట్స్ ప్రభుజీ మెయిన్ దీనికి కావాల్సింది. వాళ్ళు శ్రద్ధ పెట్టి వాళ్ళని అలా మలుచుకుంటున్నారు. అది మొక్కై వంగుంది మానై వంగుద్దా అన్నట్టు వీళ్ళని మొక్కలుగా ఉన్నప్పుడే వాళ్ళు అంత మంచి వృక్షాలుగా పెంచుతున్నారు. నిజంగా ప్రభుజీ చాలా బాగా సంతోషం అనిపించింది. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
హరే కృష్ణ. ఇంకా I wrote something about.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ, చాలా బాగా చెప్పాడు అన్ని.
అవునమ్మా, Yes. Anantha is Anantha.
Anantha.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ దండోత్ ప్రణామ్. హరే
Hare Krishna ma.
హరే కృష్ణ అనంత్ ప్రభుజీ దండోత్ ప్రణామ్.
హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
చాలా ఎంత ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇస్తున్నావు అంటే లాట్ ఆఫ్ హార్డ్ వర్క్ చేసావు. అండ్ చిన్న చిన్న స్టోరీస్ చాలా బాగున్నాయి. చాలా తెలియని విషయాలు అన్ని చెప్తున్నావు. అండ్ చాలా ఆర్గనైజ్డ్ గా మంచిగా నీట్ గా చెప్తున్నావు నాన్న. ఇట్ షోస్ యువర్ హార్డ్ వర్క్ అండ్ ఆల్ దట్. నీకు ఒంట్లో బాగాలేకపోయినా అంటే తెలుస్తుంది నీకు ఒంట్లో బాగాలేదని. ఈవెన్ దెన్ యూఆర్ పుట్టింగ్ ఎఫర్ట్ టు టెల్ us. Really appreciate your hard work and all that. And your parents are really blessed to have child like you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare.
God bless you.
Okay. So I think I lost somewhere. I'll get it back. Inka. Okay. So tomorrow Usha Mataji. అమ్మ మీరు చెప్తారు కదా రేపు?
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ, రేపు లేకపోతే ఎల్లుండి చెప్పమంటే ఎల్లుండి ప్రభుజీ, మీ ఇష్టం ప్రభుజీ.
ఎల్లుండి ఇవాళ ఏంటి? ఫ్రైడే సాటర్డే? ఇవాళ ఫ్రైడే కదా, ఇవాళ సాటర్డే సండే.
ఫ్రైడే
ఎల్లుండి
ప్రభుజీ. సండే
సండే చెప్పగలరా? సండే మరి
సండే చెప్తాను ప్రభుజీ. అప్పుడు పిల్లలకి స్కూల్ ఉండదు, కొంచెం నేను పాప దగ్గర ఉంటున్నా, అందుకని ప్రభుజీ.
ఓకే సరే అమ్మా, నో ప్రాబ్లం. యప్.
ప్రభుజీ సండే మనం జువెల్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఉంటాం ప్రభుజీ.
సాటర్డే ఫ్రైడే
ఓకే
సాటర్డే
ప్రభుజీ, రేపు చెప్తానులేండి ప్రభుజీ. అట్లా
కరెక్ట్.
అట్లా అయితే రేపు తీసుకుంటాను ప్రభుజీ. రెడీగానే ఉంది ప్రభుజీ చెప్పడానికి. బట్ 7:40కి అలా స్టార్ట్ చేయొచ్చా ప్రభుజీ? 7:30, 7:40 మధ్యలో. ఆఫ్టర్ 7:30.
If it is difficult, then we go for Monday.
Not difficult. మండే అయినా వర్కింగ్ డే కదా ప్రభుజీ, నో డిఫరెన్స్ ప్రభుజీ. రేపు చెప్పేస్తాను, బట్ 7:30 తర్వాత, నాట్ 7 o'clock.
ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ. హరే కృష్ణ.
హరే కృష్ణ. థ్యాంక్ యూ. రామాయణం నేను ఎక్కడ వింటున్నాను. రామాయణం ఎలా బతకాలో చెప్తుంది, ఎలా బతకూడదో చెప్తుంది. అంటే రామాయణం అర్థమైతే మనకి ఇంకా ఏమీ అక్కర్లే. ఇప్పటి వరకు 1,86,00,000 సంవత్సరాల క్రితం రామాయణం జరిగింది అని లెక్క వేసాడు. ఎలా వేసాడో తెలియదు, బట్ ఇంతవరకు వైదిక్ కల్చర్ సస్టైన్ అయింది. జనాలు హ్యాపీగా బతికారు, ఎందుకంటే బేస్డ్ ఆన్ రామాయణం. రైట్? ఒక 60-70 ఏళ్ళు, 50 ఏళ్ళ కింద వరకు ఏముండే? రామాయణం, మహాభారతం రెండే ఉండేవి. భాగవతం, ఈ మూడింటి మీద ఆధారపడి జీవితం నడిచింది. లైఫ్ వాజ్ పీస్ఫుల్ అండ్ హ్యాపీ. రైట్? యా, దిస్ ఇస్ ద పాయింట్. ఆయన ఏమన్నాడంటే, ఇవాళ సో మెనీ పీపుల్ ఆర్ కామెంటరీస్ రాస్తున్నారు, బుక్స్ రాస్తున్నారు, అండ్ వీక్షిస్తున్నారు. ఈవెన్ కొంతమంది నావెల్స్ రాస్తున్నారు, బేస్డ్ ఆన్ దీస్ 3 scriptures ఓన్లీ. రామాయణం, మహాభారతం, భాగవతం. వాళ్ళ రూట్స్ ఇందులోనే ఉంటున్నాయి. పైకి కనబడకపోవచ్చు, బట్ ద రూట్స్ ఆర్ ఇన్ దీస్ స్క్రిప్చర్స్ 3. కొంతమంది ఓపెన్గా చెప్తున్నారు, నెగిటివ్ కామెంట్స్ చేసి బుక్స్ రాస్తున్నారు. దే ఆర్ గెటింగ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ మార్కెట్, దే ఆర్ ఎర్నింగ్ సో మచ్ మనీ. ఆయన ఏమన్నాడంటే, ఎందుకు ఇలా జరుగుతుంది అంటే, వాట్ ఈస్ ద రూట్ అంటే, ఇవి చాలా ఫేమస్. వేల లక్షల సంవత్సరాల నుంచి ఈ శాస్త్రాలన్నీ చాలా ఫేమస్ అయిపోయాయి. ఎవడైనా రామాయణం మీద నెగిటివ్ కామెంట్ చేసినా, నెగిటివ్ బుక్స్ రాసినా దానికి పెద్ద ప్రచారం అక్కర్లే. ఎందుకంటే ఆల్రెడీ రామాయణం ప్రచారంలో ఉంది, అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ అవసరంలే. బుక్లు కొనేస్తారు, టన్స్ ఆఫ్. ఫర్ దే కెన్ రైట్ దేర్ ఓన్ బుక్స్. వాళ్ళు ఒక సబ్జెక్ట్ మ్యాటర్ ఎన్నుకొని వాళ్ళు దాని మీద రాయొచ్చు. కానీ దానికి వాళ్ళకి ఇది కావాలి, ప్రచారం కావాలి, అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ కావాలి. సో అందుకని సో రామాయణ ఇస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టు స్టడీ. జస్ట్ లైక్ అనంత చేస్తున్నట్టుగా కూలంకషంగా అనలిటికల్గా స్టడీ చేస్తే ఎవడెన్ని కామెంటరీలు రాసినా వి డోంట్ కేర్, వి డోంట్ వేవర్. సో అందుకని ఇప్పుడు ఇన్ దిస్ డే అండ్ ఏజ్లో రామాయణం, మహాభారతం, భాగవతం అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్ అండ్ అగైన్ అగైన్ చదవాలి. మన ఇక్కడ గౌరవ దర్శన బాబు చెప్తున్నారు, ద బెనిఫిట్స్ ఆఫ్ రీడింగ్ స్క్రిప్చర్. శాస్త్రం చదవడం వల్ల ఉపయోగం, లాభం ఏంటి అని చాలా ఎలాబొరేట్గా చెప్పారు ఆయన. వన్ డే విల్ టేక్ దట్. జనాలకి అర్థం కావట్లేదు. ఎంతసేపు ఈ మెటీరియలిస్టిక్ పుస్తకాలు పట్టుకొని కుస్తీ పడుతున్నారు తప్ప, ఫ్రీ టైం దొరికితే సినిమాలు షికార్లకు వెళ్తున్నారు తప్ప రామాయణ మహాభారతాలు టైం స్పెండ్ చేయట్లేదు. సమ్ టైం బ్యాక్ ఎవరు గౌరవ్ గోపాల్ ప్రభుజీ పేరు మర్చిపోయాను, ఆయన మాట చెప్పాడు. ఓ ఫ్యామిలీ ఉంది, ఆ ఫ్యామిలీలో తండ్రి ఉన్నాడు, కొడుకు ఉన్నాడు, మనవడు ఉన్నాడు. రైట్? తండ్రి ఇట్స్ బిజినెస్ ఫ్యామిలీ, సపోజ్ వైశ్య ఫ్యామిలీ అనుకోండి. తండ్రి, కొడుకు, మనవడు, ముగ్గురు కదా, 3 జనరేషన్స్. సో ఫాదర్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాడు? ఈ సిట్టింగ్ బిసైడ్స్ అండ్ రీడింగ్ రామాయణ్. యాక్చువల్లీ దిస్ జరిగిన కథ ఇది, నాట్ ఏ స్టోరీ, ఇది జరిగిన కథ. ఒక వెస్ట్నరు మేబీ ఇస్కాన్ డెవోటీ visited a Vaishya family and he saw one scene in that family. వాళ్ళ ఇంటికి వెళ్తే ఏం కనబడింది? ఒక పెద్ద ఆయన వెనకాల కూర్చొని రామాయణం చదువుకుంటున్నాడు. ఆయన కొడుకు కౌంటర్ మీద కూర్చొని వస్తువులు అమ్ముతున్నాడు. ఆయన కొడుకు బయట ఇంటి ముందు ఆడుకుంటున్నాడు. Scene he saw, and after 30 years he came back to the same family and saw the scene was same. ఏంటి? ఒక పెద్ద ఆయన రామాయణం చదువుకుంటున్నాడు, ఇంకో మధ్య వయసు ఆయన కౌంటర్ మీద ఉన్న వస్తువులు అమ్ముతున్నాడు, ఇంకో చిన్న పిల్లవాడు బయట ఆడుకుంటున్నాడు. ఈ said, అరే 30 years బ్యాక్ నేను ఐ సా ద సేమ్ సిచ్యువేషన్, సేమ్, ఇప్పుడు కూడా అలాగే చూస్తున్నాను, ఏంటి ఇది అని అడిగితే అప్పుడు చెప్పాడు, యు ఆర్ రైట్. 30 ఏళ్ళ కింద వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇట్ ఈస్ మీ, ఐ వాజ్ సెల్లింగ్ ద థింగ్స్, నేను అమ్ముతున్నాను. మా నాన్న అప్పుడు రామాయణం చదువుకునేవాడు, ఆయన వెళ్ళిపోయాడు. రైట్? ఇప్పుడు నేను రామాయణం చదువుకుంటున్నా, నువ్వు చూసినప్పుడు ఆడుకునే పిల్లవాడు కౌంటర్ మీద కూర్చున్నాడు, ఆడి కొడుకు బయట ఆడుకుంటున్నాడు. రైట్? దిస్ ఈస్ ద ట్రెడిషన్, దిస్ ఇస్ ద సెటప్ given by Vedic culture. How a retired person should be, how an active person should be, how a child should be. అంటే వేదిక లైఫ్ మనకి అన్ని సెట్ చేసి పెట్టింది. సంతోషంగా తృప్తిగా బతకడానికి కావలసినటువంటి ఫెసిలిటీస్ అన్ని క్రియేట్ చేసి ఉన్నాయి. యూ జస్ట్ హ్యావ్ టు ఫాలో. అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ ఇవాళ ఏమైందంటే ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ చేస్తున్నాం, రీసెర్చ్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఎందుకు? టు బికమ్ మోర్ హ్యాపీ. ఇన్ దట్ పర్సూట్ వీఆర్ బికమింగ్ అన్హ్యాపీ. ఎందుకంటే మోడల్ సెట్ చేసి ఉంది. కొత్త మోడల్ తీసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు, చెక్ సృష్టించుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద లైఫ్. ఓకే, హరే కృష్ణ. సో very much. So again we'll come back tomorrow. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् रामायणम की जय, वाल्मीकि महर्षि की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत प्रभु की जय, निताय गौर हर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि।